This is the story of a girl named Maria. It is my story, and I would like to share it with you. It all started in a little town in Austria named Salzburg, where I lived in the abbey because I wanted very much to become a nun. I tried so hard to be solemn and obedient as the mother abbess and the other sisters expected. But there was so much music in my heart that I often found myself waltzing on the way to Mass and even singing in the abbey. I loved the mountains nearby, and there was one very special tree where I could sing as loud as I wanted to without being called a flibberty-gibbet. The hills are alive with the sound of music, with songs they have sung for 1,000 years. The hills fill my heart with the sound of music. My heart wants to sing every song it hears. My heart wants to beat like the wings of the birds that rise from the lake to the trees. My heart wants to sigh like a chime that flies from a church on a breeze, to laugh like a brook when it trips and falls over stones in its way, to sing through the night like a lark who is learning to pray. I go to the hills when my heart is lonely. I know I will hear what I've heard before. My heart will be blessed with the sound of music, and I'll sing once more. The mother abbess came to me one day and said that she thought it would be good for me to spend some time in the outside world before making my final decision to become a nun. She said, "There is a family of 7 children who need a governess until September. I have told Captain Von Trapp, their father, to expect you in the morning." 7 children, I thought. Could I handle them? I'd had no experience. But the mother abbess permitted me to take my guitar along, which she thought might help. So I set off for the Von Trapp villa. To get confidence in myself, I sang this little song that means so much to me. A bell is no bell till you ring it. A song is no song till you sing it. And love in your heart wasn't put there to stay. Love isn't love till you give it away. No bell till you ring it. A song is no song till you sing it. And love in your heart wasn't put there to stay. Love isn't love till you give it away. But I wasn't so sure of myself when I arrived at the villa and found what a huge and luxurious place it was. I was exploring one magnificent room after another when I was startled by the sudden appearance of Captain Von Trapp. He was tall and handsome, but very stern. "You are the new governess," he said, "and the 12th in a long line of governesses who have looked after my children since their mother died. I trust you will be an improvement on the last one. She stayed only 2 hours." With that, he took a silver whistle from his pocket and blew a series of signals. They were answered by the children, who came running from all over the house and formed a straight and military line before us. The captain then introduced me to 16-year-old Liesel, 14-year-old Friedrich, 13-year-old Louisa, 11-year-old Kurt, Brigitte 10, Martha 7, and little 5-year-old Gretel. Then the captain said that he would assign a whistle signal for me. I didn't like to disagree with him so soon after arriving, but I felt that I must. "I'm sorry, Reverend Captain," I said. "Whistles are for dogs, but not for children, and not for me." So I started off in rather a difficult way with Captain Von Trapp. But that was nothing as compared with the initiation course for new governesses which the children put me through. I found toads in my dress pockets, pine cones on my chair at dinner, and all sorts of other practical jokes. I tried not to let the children have the satisfaction of thinking they were getting the better of me. It wasn't easy. But then, it wasn't easy for children to be without their mother and to have to get used to so many governesses. The war went on for several days, but one night there was a fearful thunderstorm, and one by one the frightened children came into my room until all 8 of us were on my big feather bed. "Whenever anything bothers me," I told them at a very loud crack of thunder, "I just think of my favorite things. Raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens, bright copper kettles and warm woolen mittens, brown paper packages tied up with strings. These are a few of my favorite things. Cream-colored ponies and crisp apple strudels, doorbells and sleigh bells and schnitzel with noodles, wild geese that fly with the moon on their wings. These are a few of my favorite things. Girls in white dresses with blue satin sashes, snowflakes that stay on my nose and eyelashes, silver white winters that melt into springs. These are a few of my favorite things. When the dog bites, when the bee stings, when I'm feeling sad, I simply remember my favorite things, and then I don't feel so bad. Just at the end of our song, Captain Von Trapp burst into the room. He was furious. "I told you bedtime is to be strictly observed in this house. Do you have difficulty remembering simple instructions?" "Only during thunderstorms," I replied. I'm afraid the captain thought I was very impudent. But as he had to go on a trip to Vienna, he had no choice but to leave me in charge. During the captain's absence, the children and I became better acquainted. We took rides all through the countryside, hikes, bicycle rides, and had such fun. But the best day of all was when I taught them to sing together for the first time. Let's start at the very beginning. a very good place to start. When you read, you begin with
A-B-C.
When you sing, you begin with do, re, mi.
Do, re, mi.
Do, re, mi. The first three notes just happen to be do, re, mi.
Do, re, mi.
Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. Listen, I'll make it easier for you. Do, a deer, a female deer. Re, a drop of golden sun. Mi, a name I call myself. Fa, a long, long way to run. So, a needle pulling thread. La, a note to follow. So, Ti, a drink with jam and bread. That will bring us back to do, oh, oh, oh.
Do.
A deer, a female deer.
Re,
A drop of golden sun.
mi.
A name I call myself.
Fa,
A long, long way to run. So,
a needle pulling thread.
la,
A note to follow. So,
ti,
a drink with jam and bread.
that will bring us back to
Do, a deer, a female deer. Re, a drop of golden sun. Mi, a name I call myself. Fa, a long, long way to run.
So, a needle pulling thread. La, a note to follow. So, tea, a drink with jam and bread. That will bring us back to do. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do.
So, do.
On the day of the captain's return, we had decided to take a rowboat ride on the lake. We were just docking the boat when the children caught sight of their father with another man and a very beautiful woman standing on the shore. They got so excited, all of them started standing up in the boat and shouting and, well, you've guessed it. We all ended up in the lake. The captain had intended to introduce the children properly to the Baroness Elsa Schrader and to his friend Max Detweiler. But he was so angry at me for the boating accident that he fired me. The sooner you're gone, the better, he shouted. I had prepared a little surprise concert for the captain, and I had no intention of leaving until the children had sung for their father and his guests. So after dinner, the performance began.
The hills are alive with the sound of music, with songs they have sung for 1,000 years. The hills fill my heart with the sound of music. My heart wants to sing it with singing. Every song it hears. My heart wants to beat like the wings of the birds that rise from the lake to the trees. My heart wants to sigh like the chime that flies from a church on a breeze.
I go to the hills when my heart is lonely. I know I will hear what I've heard before. My heart will be blessed with the sound of music. And I'll sing while
was delighted and amazed that Captain Von Trapp had joined his children in song. He had a beautiful voice, but he had not sung since his wife had died. After our little concert, he apologized to me and asked me to stay on. "You've brought music back into my home. I had forgotten," he said. A few evenings later, the children and I enjoyed another musical success as we presented a puppet show to which we sang accompaniment. High on a hill was a lonely goat herd.
Ole, ole, ooh.
Loud was the voice of the lonely goat herd.
Ole, ole,
Folks in a town that was quite remote heard.
ole, ole, ooh.
Lusty and clear from the goat herd's throat heard.
Ole, ole,
Oh, oh, lady odely, oh, 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 lady odely, oh, oh, lady odely, oh, lady odely, oh, lay. A prince on the bridge of a castle moat heard.
Lay out, ee-oo.
Man on a road with a load to tote heard.
Lay out, loo.
Men in the midst of a table-d'ote herd.
Lay out, ee-oo.
Men drinking beer with a foam afloat herd.
Lay out, loo.
Oh, oh, lady odely, oh, 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 a lady odely, oh, oh, lady odely, oh, lady odely, oh, lay. One little girl in a pale pink coat heard.
ole, ole, ooh.
She yodeled back to the lonely goat herd. Soon her mama with a gleaming gloat heard. What a duet for a girl and goat herd. Oh, oh, lady odely, oh, 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 lady odely, oh, oh, lady odely, oh, lady odely, oh, lay. Happy are they, lady, oh, lady, oh, lady, oh, lady, oh. Soon the duet will become a trio.
Oh, 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 lady odely, oh, oh, lady odely, oh, lady odely, oh, lay.
One little girl in a pale pink coat heard.
Lay odely, ee-oo.
She yodeled back to the lonely goat herd.
Lay odely.
Soon her mama with a gleaming gloat heard. What a duet for a girl and goat herd.
Lay odely.
Oh, oh, lady odely, oh, 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 lady odely, oh, oh, lady odely, oh, lady odely, oh, lay. Happy are they, lady, oh, lady, oh, lady, oh, lady, oh. Soon the duet will become a trio. Max Detweiler was so impressed that he announced that he'd like to enter the children into the Salzburg Folk Festival as the Von Trapp family singers. But the captain would not hear of it. "My children do not sing in public," he said. As the days went by and the Baroness continued to be a guest in the Von Trapp villa, I began to wonder if perhaps the captain was considering remarrying. The Baroness seemed to have the same idea in mind, as she encouraged the captain to give a big party so that she could meet the neighbors. It was a tremendous success. Such a lovely sight to see all the gentlemen and ladies in their beautiful clothes. When it was time for the children to go to bed, they sang their farewells to the guests.
There's a sad sort of clanging from the clock in the hall, and the bells in the steeple too. And up in the nursery an absurd little bird is popping out to say cuckoo, cuckoo, cuckoo. Regretfully they tell us, but firmly they compel us to say goodbye to you. So long, farewell, I'll be just saying goodnight.
I hate to go and leave this pretty sight.
So long, farewell, I'll be just saying adieu.
Adieu, adieu, to ya and ya and ya.
So long, farewell, au revoir, I'll be just saying
I'd like to stay and taste my first champagne. No?
No.
So long, farewell, I'll be just saying goodbye.
I leave and heave a sigh and say goodbye, goodbye. I'm glad to go, I cannot tell a lie. I flit, I float, I flee, 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 I fly. The sun has gone to bed, and so must I.
So long, farewell, I'll be just saying goodbye, goodbye,
Then a most wonderful thing happened. Captain Von Trapp asked me to dance with him. As we danced, I reflected on how he had changed. He seemed no longer so strict and unbending. Now he was gracious and warm, and he had always been so very good-looking. But after this most wonderful moment in my life, the Baroness Schrader called me aside. She said, "Maria, you're in love with him, and he's quite fond of you, but it will pass." I was stunned and confused. I didn't know my own mind. I could only think of one thought. I must leave at once. I must return to the Abbey. So I quickly packed my bag and stole out into the night. At the Abbey, I was thoroughly miserable and missed the children terribly. Apparently they missed me too, for they came to the Abbey to try to see me and to get me to return. The Mother Abbess wouldn't allow this, but she had a talk with me. "Maria," she said, "our Abbey is not to be used as an escape. What is it you can't face?" I hesitated for a moment and whispered, "I can't face him." The Mother Abbess looked at me for a long time and said, "You must not run away from life, Maria. You must face it. The love of a man and a woman is holy too. You must go back." So I returned to the Von Trapp villa and found the children as happy to see me as I was to be with them again. Captain Von Trapp came into the room and looked at me in a strange and wonderful new way. He came to me and said simply, "Maria, I am in love with you and want to marry you. Whom should I ask for your hand in marriage?" "Perhaps you should ask the children," I suggested. When I realized the full consequence of what was happening to me, It was like a dream come true. We were married in the cathedral of the Abbey, and to me it was the most beautiful wedding ever celebrated. And I was the happiest girl in the whole world. When we returned from our honeymoon a month later, we were shocked to find a huge Nazi flag draped on the wall of our villa. The captain, who had no sympathy for Nazis, was furious, and he had the flag taken down. But Max Detweiler told us that while we had been away, things in Austria had gotten very bad. The Nazis had taken over, and those who wouldn't join them were being persecuted. It was unthinkable for the captain to join the Nazis, and he realized that if we were to live in peace, we must get out of the country immediately. Thus it was that a little plot of Max Detweiler's came in very handy. In our absence, he had been rehearsing the children to perform in the Salzburg Folk Festival that very night, hoping the captain would permit it. Instead of being angry at this disobedience, the captain was indeed very glad. He made plans for an escape. He said, "In the confusion after the concert, we'll slip across the mountains to Switzerland and freedom." That is how the very first performance of the Von Trapp family singers came to be. We sang many songs, and they were very enthusiastically received by the huge crowd. But the most stirring moment came when we sang as an encore the little song Edelweiss, which symbolized for all Austrians their beloved homeland. Edelweiss, Edelweiss, every morning you greet me, small and white, clean and bright. You look happy to meet me. Blossom of snow, may you bloom and grow, bloom and grow forever. Edelweiss, Edelweiss, bless my homeland forever.
Edelweiss, Edelweiss, every morning you greet me, small and white, clean and bright. You look happy to meet me. Blossom of snow, may you bloom and grow, bloom and grow forever. Edelweiss, Edelweiss, bless my homeland forever.
We were awarded first prize in the festival. But when they announced the fact, we were not there to claim our prize. Instead, we were hiding in the Abbey, for the Nazis had learned of our plan to escape and were hot on our heels. After a very frightening time, we saw our chance and rushed out to an old car which would take us part of the way up the mountain. But just as we started the car, the Nazis caught sight of us and ran to their cars to follow. But they wouldn't start. And we knew why when we saw the broad smile on the face of the Mother Abbess. Two of the sisters had removed some parts from the car's motors. So we were able to get away. And as dawn broke, The Von Trapp family, all 9 of us, were climbing a mountain to freedom and safety. And through the years, even the smallest child was to learn from the words that had meant so much to me that first wonderful day I went to the home of the Von Trapp family. A bell is no bell till you ring it. A song is no song till you sing it. And love in your heart wasn't put there to stay. Love isn't love till you give it away.